Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you all for being here. We are Team BetterUs. And now let us share with you the problem that we are tackling. It is safe to say that almost all of us here, if not all of us, have a mobile device. And if I were to ask every one of us now if we think we are addicted to our phones, it is proven that at least 75% of us would say yes. But now let's take a step back and think about this. In reality, if we are truly being asked this question, how many people do you think would be really honest about this? And how many people do you think would shy away from the truth and keep this secret of addiction to themselves? To give you a better perspective, an average of 2,617 clicks, taps, or swipes are being performed per person daily. Some people don't even walk that number of steps a day. 87% of people would use their phones 1 hour after they wake up and 1 hour before they go to sleep. And on top of this, 69% of people would use their phones within the first 5 minutes of waking up. At this present day, where do people go to when they identify such issues with themselves? They can go to their parents or to their teachers, but they themselves might not be trained or they can be unaware of such issues. Therapies can be expensive in both time and money, and they can also have a certain stigma that prevents people from going to them. Finally, mental health apps are more passive recipients of help, and they can have a narrow definition for the purpose of use. Our solution is BetterUs. BetterUs is a mobile application that not only aims to help people in need, but to also allow our users to cultivate good lifestyle habits. BetterUs encourages users to stay away from their phones. For example, if a user would like to go for an hour jog, he or she can use our app and key this activity down, and our app will then help to track this time spent away from their phones. And after this activity is completed, we will reward the users with in-app currencies. And our in-app currency is special. Instead of using it for themselves, we want to allow our users to experience the gift of giving. So, for example, if a user has this in-app currency, what can they do, right? What BetterUs offers are donation and charity campaigns. These campaigns are initiated by individuals or companies partnered with us. For example, if Company A would like to pledge 100 meals to a foundation, we will start this campaign and allow our users to look at it and contribute to it using these in-app currencies. And after this campaign is full, we will then proceed on with the donation. This in turn allows our users to not only become micro-givers, but they can also experience the gift of giving without additional time and money. Finally, after the donation is completed, we will also reward our contributors with vouchers or even tangible items as a form of thank you. And of course, the cycle repeats.
So we have actually prepared a short video prototype to show you how easy it is for our users to use our application. But due to the interest of time, if you are interested, we can show it to you during the Q&A session. So although BetterUs is a relatively new startup, we have actually been in talks with various individuals and company organizations to actually share our project and foster new partnerships and collaborations. So now it's important to know that what is it that our app has will do in this industry. So we have actually identified a similar app in the current market, and it's actually similar because it is a productivity app that also allows users to it encourages users to actually take time away from their phone, and in return, what they allow users is to allow them to contribute to tree planting. And we realize that with just this simple cause alone, they have actually garnered many millions of users. So we believe that BetterUs, with having more ways to allow users to give back to the society, we are actually able to reach out to more people and be able to target the local and global market better.
As for our business model, we have identified 4 main routes: matching fees, reward sponsors, platform and services fees. With these 3 routes, companies that initiate a donation campaign with us is really a way to help sustain BetterUs. Last but not least, we also identified looking towards events and CSR awareness. This is to help companies that want to garner traffic and awareness to their donation campaigns can partner with BetterUs in order to help promote these events. For example, a company wants to do a goodie bag giveaway event. We are able to promote this campaign onto our application, and users who sees it can drop by and participate in such events. In short, we are creating a win-win situation where users are more aware of companies doing good, and users themselves can participate in such charitable events. We have a 1-year timeline plan, and we are more than happy to share to you in details if you are interested. Now that you know what BetterUs is all about, let us formally introduce to you our team. BetterUs are a team of 6, 5 of which are graduates and undergraduates from DigiPen SIT, from the computer science and digital art degrees. We also have a professor, Dr. Sim Jiaying, supervising us in the entirety of this project. BetterUs has identified 3 main Us supporting companies, marketing strategies, and collaborations with charity organizations. As for our budget allocation, majority of the budget will go towards marketing and publicity, whereas the other funding will go towards hiring external services, technology, manpower, and logistics. That concludes our presentation. Thank you so much for your time. We are Team Better Us, and let's give true happiness.
All right, thank you. On to the judges for the Q&A.
So just for clarification, you are trying to address the issue of excessive use of the devices or social media, and you presented your statistics to show that this is how often people are using the devices. But people can be on the devices for productive purposes. It means they do their work. So how do you define excessive use?
Yes. Hello. Hi. Okay, so thank you so much for your question. When we are talking about normal usage of their phones, yes, digital world can be productive, and in fact, it's ingrained to our lives now. So what we are trying to come across is not to totally remove it, and we are not trying to ignore the fact that they can be productive as well, but we are taking a look and focusing on the fact that people are using social media, especially during these 2 years when they are cooped in Singapore. All they can see are what people are doing elsewhere, and they tend to compare themselves with a lot of other stuff. And this is just a tip of the iceberg of what dangers can possess in this, like when you're addicted to your phones, right? And not to mention, it's just not only phones, like computer games, online, a lot of online dangers exist. And what we are trying to do is, how about we take a step back, right? Put down our phones for a while, just for that 1 hour, 2 hours, and let's do something that is in your physical world and not in the digital realm. And we firmly believe that this will really help the mental and digital well-being in our users.
Thank you.
I hope I answered the question.
I'll just have a quick one, and then before Rodney, yeah. So I think the first one is, I think that what I'm seeing is definitely you are doing a behavioral nudge, right, and giving them an alternative. My question is twofold. I think one is that why would the youth want to do this, right? In a sense, it's always going back to the youths, your users, at a sense. What's in it for them to do this? The willingness. So I hope to hear a bit about the willingness of the youth to adopt this platform. The second one, I think, is a little bit relating to the whole idea of, I think, your app, right? It's also, I think, the other part is that what is in it for the companies to give this? Because I think that's a fundamental thing that you're pivoting on. So yeah, I'm just very curious about that. Yeah.
Yes, thank you so much for the question. I'll answer your first question first, why users will want to use, right? So basically, as we can see, just from a statistics, existing app that is on the market, with the only incentive being planting trees, people are willing to use that because people are conscious that they are in need to improve their digital well-being. They need to make sure that they are not too engrossed with their phones, and they are willing to use such applications, right? And even if youths are not aware, we want to bring this message across to them, saying that, hey, your digital phone is not everything in your life. How we lived 20 years ago are really not like this, and we can be as happy as them in the current era, right? So that is my answer for the first question. As for the second question, how would companies want to partner with us, right? So basically, if you look at donations as a whole, in general, donations have 2 entities to it. Basically, you have the source of the donation and the destination of the donation. So basically, in a normal donation, the giver will just give to the recipient and they will just receive. What BetterUs is trying to achieve here is to create a third entity, which is the link, the bridge between the source to the destination. So if you think about this, when you're helping a recipient, you're only helping them, and that's great, right? You're giving to the recipient. But what BetterUs is trying to do here is we are setting up a campaign. So let's say this campaign needs 1,000 points, and BetterUs is designed in a way that a person can contribute 1 point per day. So if you think about it, if this campaign reaches 1,000 points in a day, what does that mean? This means that your donation is being aware, is being known by at least 1,000 people, and these 1,000 people contributed in your donation. So in a way, you're not only helping your recipient, but you're also spreading the joy of giving to your users or to your community, which is also something that we want to touch on in the second phase of development, which is community building as well as neighborliness. I hope I answered that question.
So how do you address the fact that the first thing to do is for the person to acknowledge that he's using the phone too much? How do you address that? Because I could be in a denial. I'm like, look, according to Anita, it's work related, or So I think that's one that I didn't see come out from your presentation.
All right, thank you so much for the question. Just like I mentioned, the moment a user is willing to take the effort to use BetterUs to actually key down an activity, because everyone has to do something aside from the application, anywhere else other than your digital phones, right? So for example, it can be any activity as long as it's legal. So it can be even taking a nap. And users would want to take this opportunity because what they do when they key in this activity and leave their phones away for, let's say, 2 hours, they will earn this in-app currency. And this in-app currency, they would know that it's meant for them to give to other people and not for themselves. And this is us cultivating a giving mentality, right? And of course, once a donation is successfully being made, they are going to receive their personal rewards as well, like vouchers or anything that we can provide. It can come from any individuals who are willing to support us as well. So if you think about it, if people at the end of the day are just wanting these incentives for themselves, they are trying to work towards it in a good way, essentially.